I'll get to Jen.
Yes.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay. How are you doing too?
I'm all right. Just greeting the viewer to get to know more about Jen.
Good morning, viewers.
Well, we'll get into our discussion this morning. It's quite delicate having the two, and of course not forgetting that they really shape the future of Uganda's growth. That is to do with the environment, and not forgetting the oil and gas development. They say ladies first.
Yeah.
I don't want the viewer to get to think we're being selfish right here. Sandra is asking Jen first. I'll just start the conversation with talking to the lady first, that is Jen. Well, how can oil and gas development truly coexist with environmental conservation?
Thank you, Sandra. I think that's an interesting question. It's quite very possible to have oil and gas development together with environmental conservation, and one complements the other. So you need to have like the laws in place that ensure that we have the coexistence of both, and also we need to have a number of environmental safeguards and social safeguards to ensure that the oil and gas development actually enhances environmental conservation and not the other way around. In Uganda today, we have the National Oil and Gas Policy, Objective 9, which aims to ensure that oil and gas activities coexisting together with the oil and with the environment conservation. Earlier in the days, in the exploration period, actually the Marshall Falls National Park was given a 4-star rating by the TripAdvisor, despite the fact that we had exploration activity that were moving within the country. We also have the National Environment Act that has been amended in 2019 to incorporate the issue. So most of the safeguards we have put in place, we undertake environmental impact assessments prior any development taking place. And in here, we go through the mitigation hierarchy, which is avoidance. So we try to avoid sensitive areas as much as possible, and then we do what we call the minimization. To ensure that all the impacts are actually counter-reacted. We have the strategic environment assessment of Uganda that was undertaken for the Albertine Graben. So this was able to ensure that we see what our impacts will be and to plan. But also we undertook the Albertine Graben Sensitivity Atlas. And this helped us to see which areas are really very sensitive. Where do you put more precaution and care when you're actually moving within the Albertine region? And we've also, that has been also updated. We also have the Albertine Graben monitoring plan. And this was a 10-year plan, and also we have a new second edition on this. So these are some of the tools that we have actually put in place. We've also worked with other stakeholders. So it's not only the Federal Government of Uganda that regulates the oil and gas sector. We also work with other sectors, like, for example, with the Tilenga project. We work a lot with the Uganda Wildlife Authority. We work with National Environment Management Authority. We work with the Ministry of Water and Environment. We work with the National Forestry Authority. We work with the Ministry of Lands. So it's kind of a wholesome. We have routine monitoring that is undertaken for all the biodiversity and environmental programs activities. So the inspections are mentioned. We do quarterly monitoring as a team, but however, as a PAU, we do monitoring on a daily basis. So we have monitors on field every day. We not only to monitor the development, but also to monitor the biodiversity and environment to ensure that the mitigation measures have been put in place. We've also undertaken annual audits noise for the animals that are there, for even the people themselves. So we are trying to put in all this in place to ensure that our environment is actually conserved. So the two can actually coexist. We've seen a lot of oil and gas developments actually improving some of our mechanisms we are using. We have some of the threats that come to the environment, especially biodiversity, or Action Force National Park, looking at it as a whole, is the human being. So if, for example, people are supposed to go to the park and pick, say, firewood or and pick some of the fruits there, if we give them alternative ways of livelihood, then the pressures on the Action Force National Park actually reduces. So we shall also conserve that in the long run. So these are various programs and various safeguards that we put in place that are helping people to actually also helping us as government and Uganda at large to conserve our biodiversity. So we also have a rigorous program on restoration. So we restore where we have been to as near as possible. If I took you to the park that we did inside me during the exploration period, and I tell you this place was bare ground and how it has actually regenerated, it's quite amazing to see the results. So these campaigns keep going on, and constant monitoring is undertaken on a quarterly level, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, and it is undertaken first by the players themselves. For Tilenga, we are having total viewings on a daily, PAs do this on a daily, but also we bring in independent consultants to check us so that it's not us giving all this information, but also we have independent consultants doing this.
Well, I love the fact that there's that monitoring, the follow-up that is continuous on a daily from Tilenga itself and the PAU at the end of the day. And you talked about national force, but I'll be getting to that. Well, I should say well done. They're really doing a tremendous job making sure that these things move hand in hand and not forgetting that Total Energy has implemented to protect the biodiversity in Tilenga project area. Now that she has that assurance that you monitor on a daily, but just letting the viewer get to understand some of the implementations you've put in place.
Okay. Thank you very much once again, and I'll start